welcome to this week's episode on Ghost Encounters of the Third Kind, and I'm here with Nick and Marie and myself, Nick T. This week I think we're just going to start it off with time travel, time slips, and that kind of malarkey. Do you believe in time travel, Marie?
I don't know about time travel. I've read a lot of instances about the time slips and things, but time travel, I don't know, Nick. It's one I've not really give a great deal of thought to, but
you must think something about it because you went to Bold Street, didn't you? Was it Bold Street or Bond Street?
I did, yeah. Went to Bold Street with Faye, who can't be with us this week, but yeah, and it's very interesting. One particular street in Liverpool, they've had lots of reports on these time slips where people have walked into a shop and it's been what it was 50 years ago, you know, and then they've come back out and looked up and all of a sudden it changes back into what it is now, or some very... I think there was one instant where a shoplifter was running away and run down an alley and turned around, and it was all the 1960s cars, and people that were walking in the streets were dressed in 60s clothes, and it's very bizarre. I can't sort of come up with a what it may be kind of thing.
But that would be
time travel.
Time travel, not
sure.
Because on these time slips, it's like the actual shop that travels through time, and I presume that's what they're saying. When they go into one shop, it's just the one shop, or is it the whole street that changes?
Has there been any photographs taken of this?
No, there's been a couple of the first couple of incidents that stick into my mind was there was a young girl out shopping, and she came across what she thought was a new baby shop, and she went in to buy some stuff from and was struck by how cheap things were, and she went to buy something and went to pay with a card, and the lady on the till sort of gave her a bit of a strange look and kind of said, we don't accept that, we only take cash, kind of thing. So the lady came out of the shop to get some cash to go back in, but when she went to try to go back and find the shop where she thought it was a bank. And there was no baby shop to be seen, and when she went home and explained to her mum what had happened to her, her mum was able to tell her that where the bank is now, many years ago, used to be a baby shop.
That's okay.
So them kind of incidents, I don't really know what the difference would be between a time slip and, like you say, time travel. Are they one of the same? Did that girl time travel back 50 years and then... Yeah,
or did the shop come forward?
Exactly, yes, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But I do have to say, when I went with Faye, and it could have just been me not paying attention, but we walked the whole length of this one particular street, and then the next day we went back, and it was really bizarre. Faye, every time Faye hit a particular area halfway up in that street, she got a funny ringing in her ears and she felt a bit off balance, and twice we did actually have to stop, and she leant against the wall because she felt like she was going to fall over and felt a bit dizzy. And the second time we went, there was a whole part, I would say at least 3 or 4 shops in one area that we actually could not recall from the day before seeing at all, it was a little bit strange, whether we were just chatting and didn't pay attention, but we did see maybe 3 or 4 shops that we didn't notice the day before.
Okay.
So it is quite a strange, I don't know if it's on, do they call them ley lines, or give you as what was giving Faye that strange
gin.
Gin.
Yeah, she does like a gin.
I haven't really looked into this subject much, to be honest with you, so I don't know what causes it, or...
Yeah, well, there's a few famous people. One of the most famous people, I would say, is a man called Andrew Basiago, who's an American guy. he claims that he worked. Well, not he worked. His father worked as in the military, and when he was a child, he was recruited for. That's me clicking then. So he was recruited as a child in a project called Project Pegasus, where they sent children time travelling. The government sent the children time travelling. I think he actually said he actually got transported to, I don't know if it was the moon or Mars at one point, and I'm sure he said he met Barack Obama. I think it was one of the presidents. I think it was Barack Obama. Maybe I'm wrong with that, because this is all off memory. And he said he was going to be the president in 2016, which obviously he wasn't. I think he was in the running somewhere, but he obviously said he was. But his get out of that was, it was on a different timeline, so that could be any old crap country.
Was this the guy who? It was. I think I've seen this documentary on this. Was it like when they'd been transported, if they landed in water, they'd lose a foot if the foot was in water?
If the feet were in water, that's what he said. He said somebody had actually got transported to, and when they reappeared, they appeared inside a fountain. And because the feet was under the water, they lost the feet. They took the feet off them.
Yeah, because it was wet to do.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
When they came back, they didn't have any feet, did they?
Yeah. Yeah, strange.
Well, I don't see the. I'm sorry, I don't see
you've got. First of all, you've got to believe that the U.S. Army were doing this thing in the first place.
Yeah, but even if we believe all up into there, what is the connection of standing in water, losing your feet? I don't.
There probably is some explanation, but obviously it's one of them things that stands out.
I can't remember. I think he did give some.
Because we are, we're doing this off memory, aren't we? So we haven't got notes on this.
No.
So some of the information we give out could not be 100% accurate, but we're just talking off memory.
I mean, obviously, I've seen some of the famous photographs of, where they say people have been spotted in crowds wearing particularly modern clothes for the time.
Watches.
Well, there's one of this Andrew Basiago. He claims that he was in Abraham Lincoln's address. I think it was Gettysburg. There's a photograph of that, and he claims that he is this person in this photograph.
Really?
As a child, and he brings out, look at the shoes he's wearing, but it's such a grainy photograph. I don't know.
And of course, there's the famous one of the lady going to the Charlie Chaplin premiere that looks like she's talking on a mobile phone, which I find a bit strange, because let's just say that she was time travelling, and let's just say it was a mobile phone. How is she getting signal and using a mobile phone back? I don't think we'd have any. Well, there wasn't the technology, so there's going to be no towers, no signal for a mobile phone if you time travel, are they? So I can't.
Could have been a small radio. She might have been listening to the horse racing or something.
I think they were saying. I think one explanation they give to it was that at that particular time there was a new kind of hearing aid thing that had come out that was in two parts, where you had to hold a receiver up to a transmitter or something, and I think that's how they kind of explain that one away. So
it says it took place in between 1962 and 72.
But that's when he actually says that was his time, doesn't he? I think he still claims it's still going on.
Yeah, to see it said he contacted former presidents and teleported to Mars.
Yeah, I thought he was, and I'm sure what he says he's met Barack Obama. He was on the program as well. But
so what are we saying? How this time travel works? So for somebody to go back in time, that means that time is still existing somewhere, and it's not past.
I think there's a certain amount of time that they can go to, but his story's a bit bonkers. He talks about a chronograph, which actually it featured in one of the old Doctor Who's. The Doctor Who had a chronograph where you could look into this screen and you could see the past in this screen.
Okay.
And he actually reckons that the Vatican have that now, and they can look back on history.
Yeah, well, it says he travelled back to Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, Washington's tent during the Revolutionary War. He's been everywhere, man.
Yeah. Nothing that.
And to 2045, he travelled to the future as well.
I'm not.
So there is so it's not all back in time. They can travel.
He's gone forward. Oh yeah, he's sad.
And what did he learn from going forward?
I don't know. Transported to a building made of emerald and tungsten steel.
Because he does actually say that there's a flood again, and a lot of the buildings are underwater. But I'm sure that's recent, if not past. I don't know if that was a 2016 thing, but he definitely said that he was going to be president in 2016.
Yeah, it says here. But not too long ago, when he was made waves in the media claiming Barack Obama had been part of the same teleportation time travel program as he was. That was in 2016.
Yeah, it is bonkers, isn't it? It's hard to believe. But again, I sent you a picture of that book when we were talking online. It was a book by Dr. Bruce Goldberg, and he talks about teleportation. He reckons he's got thousands and thousands of documented cases of where he's helped people teleport to a beach and they've come back with a suntan.
I read that. Would that be like same as remote viewing? Is that?
I would say it was similar, because they only went.
Well, remote viewing though is just sort of your conscious travelling, not your actual. I mean, if it was remote viewing, you wouldn't be coming back with a tan, would you?
No, but that. It is kind of.
They are under
hypnosis. They are under hypnosis, so the actual physical body hasn't left.
What was that woman's name you met?
Maury Kent. Yeah, she
claimed she was there, didn't she?
No, she could. It's remote viewing, yeah.
It's remote viewing.
So this time travelling then, it's not that their physical body has gone to that place. It is remote viewing. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think
he's
saying
he went.
They go into like
so
a
they
machine.
Disappear out of that room where they are, and they go to somewhere else.
Some machine they step in. I suppose it's a little bit like Sam
Janet.
Bloody.
A bit like Janet Enfield.
Going through the wall.
But that's all military kind of machinery based time travel.
I think they built something like a Stargate thing, wanted to think.
So I find it, I don't know, what the first thing that comes to mind is if the military or the government or whoever do have that kind of technology and it is actually a real thing, then surely by now somebody would be using it to avoid a lot of the shit that is going on these days, surely.
Yeah, but we wouldn't know about it because they would be disappeared and no one would know where they are.
They could have done it in the future.
Oh, now see, you
We're going to really mess with you now, aren't we?
Yeah.
They could have done it in the future. Or aliens, time travellers.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. There was famous.
I tend to believe aliens are us.
From the future?
From the future.
Now, see, now I did, obviously, watching the documentary and reading the book of...
We talked about him on the way up here.
My mind is terrible.
Are you on about Communion?
Yes, Communion,
Whitley
yes.
Strieber.
That's the one, thank you, Nick. After reading some of that, I'm more inclined to believe that what we now think of aliens is what we may evolve into.
Yeah.
Very, very far into the future. I think the quote was, he asked them who they were, and I think they replied, "We you," or "You will be us." So, you know, something similar to that, which makes you think, well, is that what it is then? They're aliens to us because they are alien. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that possibly is what we evolve into many years in the future.
I've always had that view on it.
Yeah.
Something happens now and again that changes your mind for a bit, and it's
So are we actually saying that aliens don't come from off planet? Or do we think that we could live under a dome?
No.
What was it? They said that is it the stars are pinpricks in the dome, so we can breathe or something. Yeah. It's I think that's the really interesting thing of all of this that we talk about is, I think if we listen back to the episodes, the first couple of episodes, and then listen back to maybe when we've done about 30 of them, I think some of our views and opinions will change as we go along, because people are coming up with new theories and it makes you think, and then all of a sudden you kind of think, oh, I wonder if it could be this then. And, you know, I don't think it's one of them feels where you just make your mind up and it can never be swayed.
We've gone through everything, haven't we? We've done full circles on loads of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but there's obviously this is military machinery. You've got people who are claiming that they've time travelled again with machinery, but this one guy built his own. I think his name is. They call him Mad Malcolm Markey. I think his name is. I listened to him on a old coast to coast radio station with Art Bell. I don't know if you know Art Bell, but he's like massive in the paranormal. And he reckons that he built a Jacob's ladder with some electrical equipment, and he sent small things through like nuts and bolts and different bits and pieces, and they'd appear weeks later somewhere else on his property, same stuff. And he got arrested for stealing some electrical, because it was proper big electrical stuff. And then one day he just disappeared. He supposedly had jumped through the Jacob's ladder.
Was that him who lived on like a farmland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he jumped through this Jacob's ladder, this electrical plasma field or whatever, and disappeared, and that was it. No one ever saw him again. But a few years later there was reports of some body being found on a beach inside a metal container, obviously dead, but they kind of linking this situation. They reckon that is it appeared in the future inside this tube, dead on the beach.
I think of all the topics that we could discuss, I think this time travelling thing is the biggest mind bender. Trying to get you. Yeah, it's a matrix, isn't it? I've watched that film about 3-4 times. I still can't get my head wrapped around it.
Exactly the same.
You know, so
yeah.
I think it's a big mind bender, travelling back into the past and forward into the future. And
when you think about it as well, it doesn't just stop there, does it? You can bring your big foot into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other creatures, the Mothman. Are they being teleported through some sort of time? You know? Aliens is the biggest one for me, I think. Or
is Nessie a time slip when people see him? Or are you going back to even dinosaur times and seeing something swimming in the... I don't know, I suppose once you start with the theories, if one's possible, any are possible, aren't they, really?
Yeah. There's loads. On our ghosts, time slips. You don't know, do you? Could be.
I don't like time travel. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Actually, it is a really good subject. I really love time travel, but
I'm fascinated about that, like the time slip thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But joking aside, I've always thought that aliens are human beings
From the future.
Yeah. And they could live the other side of the wall, Nick. Couldn't they?
The other side of the dome?
No, the other side of the wall.
The other side of the wall, okay.
Yeah. But as for that, I just don't know, mate. I was looking at the sky and the other week, and I just don't see how that can be. It's just ace, isn't it? All them different stars, and there's no way they LED lights on the dome.
I know, but oh no, we need to do what's it on this one.
Let's go now. Let's go there for a bit. Let's visit it for a bit.
Just let me just go. Just listen to me for just 2 minutes.
Yeah,
2 minutes. Right. When you go outside at night time and it's a bit cloudy, and you look at the moon, if you look at the radius that it illuminates on the clouds, it's only a small area. It should be a massive area.
Why? Why should it be a massive area?
Because what we're saying is the moon is reflecting sunlight, and if it's a ball, obviously it's domed, so the light should reflect off it in all directions. And if you look at the halo around what the moon shines up, it's a small area. It's not the whole of the sky. Like the sunshine, the sun lights up all the whole of the sky. And I know you can say, well, it's the sun, but what we're saying is the sun is.
But a reflection is never as bright as the actual thing, though, is it?
No, but this.
If you're saying.
Yeah, but the moonlight is cooler than the moon shade. So if it was, and that's a fact. No, if you go outside and you see a shadow in the moonlight.
Yeah.
Where the light is reflecting off the moon onto the floor.
Yeah.
Is colder than the shadow part of the.
In temperature, you mean?
Yeah. So if it's reflecting the sunlight, it should be hotter than the shade, and it's not. It's colder. So
the Earth flat because of that.
No, but it's just one thing that.
So what is the moon then?
But do you? Sorry.
I don't know what the moon is.
What?
They're saying it's some kind of. I don't know. When I listen to these things, I don't just believe that.
But you're into all this. You're into all this holistic stuff, and this goes on. The planets and the stars and the.
But it still could, couldn't it? Because it could be working on magnetic fields. I think it's like a toroidal field. I've seen that much stuff, and obviously it all can't be right.
I mean, the moon affects a lot of stuff, doesn't it? The tides that.
Wow.
Oh, doesn't it? No.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
And even, let's be honest, we know on full moons do affect people, animals, they do.
Yeah.
Certain counties even admit the police forces put more staff on on full moon nights.
Where lunatic come from, because on full moon.
Lunatic, of course, yeah.
And a werewolf.
And werewolves, of course,
and I'm not saying that doesn't affect us, but I don't know what it is. People say it's plasma balls and this, that, and the other.
We're not going to get an energy off an hologram, or
I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
I don't get no energy off a tally.
I don't know. You could do.
It's very doubtful.
I don't know. Magnetic fields. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but.
So you don't believe the moon is what we're taught it is?
No, definitely not. No, or the sun. I don't believe the sun.
So what you're saying is all my pagan brothers dance around to an hologram?
No, I don't think it's an hologram.
And yours, you go to the pagan meetings.
I know.
Do you know the only thing a lot of this, I'll have to be honest, a lot of this goes straight over my head. I don't understand a lot of it. The only thing that I look outside sometimes and think is, why can I see the moon at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? When I was younger, I can't ever remember seeing.
That's what I was just going to say.
Honestly, I can't. It might be a memory that I just never noticed before when I was younger. But honestly, I can never remember being able to see the moon and the sun out at the same time. But I do now. Is it just because when I was younger, I just didn't really look up and notice?
No, we always used to think the
things,
moon was the other side of the earth.
Yeah, well, but what's the whole point? The Earth turns round, and then when it's day, it's because the moon's there, and as you go round, and you know what I mean? It's like, but so how can they both be out at the same time?
So you didn't see it. So what's altered then in 50 years?
Just probably, it's probably always been like that. It's obviously down to your teachings, isn't it, at school? The first things they teach you is you would go in a classroom, there's a globe on the wall, or...
Yeah, it was always the sun on one side, the moon on the other, and as the earth turns around, that's what your day and your night is. Yeah. That's what basically we were taught at school. But now you look up in the sky in midday and you can see the moon there and the sun there, and you can see them quite clearly out together at the same time. So I'm sure, Stephen Hawking could have explained it to you,
No,
Nick.
because they explain it just as they believe in what the system is telling us. So
I don't know, with Stephen Hawking, did he just believe in the system, or did he actually have the math to prove it? We are talking Stephen Hawking here, aren't we?
Why aren't they?
He was stuck in the chair. He wasn't in no space rocket, was he? I'm not being... but
why aren't they telling us it's flat then? What difference would it make?
I think it would make... The difference would be is that we would have to believe in a creator. I know you believe in deities and we've all got beliefs and stuff, but there's a lot of people that haven't, and they'd have to believe. If we was in an enclosed system, then we'd have to believe that we weren't just hurtling through space at 1,000 miles an hour, that we were created if we was on a stationary flat inside a fish tank.
But people believe that we were created now on a globe. People believe that God created us. People believe in a creator now. So what would the difference be?
The difference is there's not loads. I know there is loads, but I think there's more people now that believe that we're just on a spinning ball flying through space and we were a fluke of creation, evolution, or whatever you want to...
There's more people believe in science now than they do spiritual stuff.
Yeah. So, but and why is that?
But science evolves all the time, doesn't it? And what we don't understand now, the things that we talk about and saying, could this, but what we don't understand now may in 50, 60, 100 years' time become the norm and have a scientific... there's a lot of stuff now that is proven scientifically that 100 years ago was thought to be weird and witchcraft and all sorts, wasn't it? And science does evolve constantly. So I just don't...
No, it's a hard one. It is definitely difficult conversation because I don't know I ain't got all the answers. Even though I believe it, and I've seen when people ask me the questions, I've seen the answers to the questions, which has made me believe, but I just can't remember because my brain doesn't store all that information. So I can't tell you why I come to that conclusion because I haven't got all the facts and figures.
But I say, even though I don't personally, it's not through any fact or figures, it's just I personally don't believe that the earth is flat. I don't believe we've got a dome over us. That's just my belief. But I think, it's going to sound, I don't mean to be patronising at all, but I think that it's really brave for people to come out and just say that that's what you believe in, because let's be honest, I know we take the wet, but it's really open to massive ridicule, isn't it?
I think it's absolutely bonkers that I believe that, because I never thought I believed that, and I'm open to change back if I see something that I think, yeah, that's right. But
what would that take, do you think,
Nick? I don't know. It's like the likes of Elon Musk. I really liked Elon Musk, but...
why don't you know?
Because if anyone should know, he should know, shouldn't he? and he's saying it's round, so I should believe him really, because...
So he knows then, doesn't he?
No, but then you... yes, he knows. But what if he knows and he's telling lies? Because I've listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who also thinks flat Earth is an absolute...
Well, I was just going to say, there's nobody more anti-flat Earth than him.
Yeah, and he says, if you get a globe out of a school classroom and put a penny on it, that's how far... you know the guy who jumped out of the balloon?
The Red Bull thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. That's how far he was. And also, he says that's how far... you know, Amazon man, Jeff Bezos, when he did his space travel, he said that is the highest point that he went to, and it's low Earth orbit, it's not space, what people think. And all the clips you see of that footage of what's his name, William Shatner, the Star Trek geezer who went up, they only ever get short clips, because what they're doing is they're not floating in space and they're just floating around. You know the Vomit comic where it goes up and down? That's what they were doing.
So what makes you... So just out of interest, what makes you believe that guy that's telling you that over somebody else that's telling you it's not that? What sways you to that one person?
When you actually met him and see how
just
see it is. They are, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you talking about the Elon Musk thing, saying you used to like him, but now he's not, because he's not agreeing with what you believe in. You're saying he might not be telling the truth.
Well,
is a little bit like what we were talking about on another podcast, saying when you do get evidence of pictures, nobody believes you anyway, so you can't win. Is it a case of that, do you think, Nick? Maybe?
I don't know.
Why do you think Elon Musk would say it was round if it isn't? What's he got to gain of that?
I don't think he had. I've never heard him say it's round, but obviously you just think he sent that car up, didn't he, and it's travelling up past Mars or whatever, that Tesla, he sent a Tesla up, didn't he? So obviously he believes in space.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't. And there's loads of other little bits and pieces, like if we've got oxygen here, which we're breathing, why don't it just float off into space? I know people say, oh, there's atmosphere, but...
Is it something with gravity?
No, because you can't... Gases, it's why you have an extinguisher and it's pressurised in a metal container, because if it wasn't, it'd just float off.
Is it not just that all the trees and everything are just constantly producing it? Maybe it does float off, but we've just got that much of a constant supply of it that you need to sit down. I'm not believing you. You need to sit down with a proper scientist who knows what he's talking about, so he can answer all your questions.
I know, I would love to, but I still don't.
But you still wouldn't believe them,
because if they've been taught, they're not going to come around to my way of thinking after they spent 10 years in bloody their field.
No, of course, I'm just thinking they've got a lot more experience than we have in that field, if that's their expertise, and they've got a lot more experience and a lot more knowledge.
Yeah, but they're just telling us mathematical equations, aren't they, and all that kind of stuff. They are, though.
See, yeah, absolutely. But listening to you talk, it makes it. You do sound like you've made your mind up, and that's it. And no matter what anybody could tell you, if it didn't fit with your narrative, you would just not believe it.
I don't know how I'm going to change that. I would like to change back, to be honest, because I think it's absolutely nuts. I think I'm bonkers.
Is it any more nuts than believing in aliens or believing in ghosts?
Yeah, it's like aliens.
Did you say yes, Nick?
Yeah, because how old do you think the Earth is?
Old. I don't believe it's 6,000 years like the Christians. And
see, they believe it's 5,000 years, 6,000 years old. Dinosaurs have just been made up.
No, I say I don't particularly believe that. I think
dinosaurs have been made up.
that's what they believe. Yeah.
So where do all the bones come from that they dig up?
They put there by Satan just to test your faith. That's what they believe, and I don't believe that. It's bonkers.
Who believes this?
The Christians,
don't
die-hard
believe in
Christians.
dinosaurs.
Not all Christians. See, to
I'm
me,
not on about flat earthers now. I'm on about Christians.
No, but in the Bible it tells you the world is flat in many different.
Doesn't actually say that, though, does it?
It
doesn't actually say that. It doesn't say the earth is flat,
no,
does it?
It talks about being on a plane, which is flat.
Yeah. There's a plane in Africa, isn't there?
Yeah. But Africa's a part of our flat earth system. So.
Yeah. It's a part of my global system as well.
No, but
I have to say, I've never heard a Christian say that they don't believe in dinosaurs. I have to say,
no.
honestly,
no.
no.
It's
Are
a
we
massive
talking
thing.
about sort of radical Christians? Are we just
One of my lads,
so Church of England?
Kiefer, went to Thomas More Catholic School.
Okay.
He had a full-on argument with the RE teacher over dinosaurs.
Catholic,
it's a Catholic school.
Catholic school.
not Christians. Catholic, not C of E.
No, they're all.
They're all the same. If you're religious, if you follow the Bible says it's only, I don't know, a few thousand years old. Now, how can you find bones supposed to be 60 million years old if the Earth is only, just let's say, 10,000 years old?
But they never find a full dinosaur. They've only ever found 10% of a dinosaur. So when they build all these big dinosaurs, they haven't found that big dinosaur. They've only found 10% of it. They've guessed the rest, and that's not me just putting
They have found
BS out there.
They have
That
found
is-
complete, haven't they?
No,
They have,
haven't.
surely.
They haven't. They haven't.
I'm not saying they're big brontosaurus and that.
They aren't. 10% is
Is that the most, Nick?
Get on
biggest.
it,
That's
get on
what
it,
they
Marie.
say. You might.
Okay.
Google Marie.
Google's your friend.
You might find it on there, but
Yeah,
It wouldn't be
it's
true.
right. Hey, it's right next to the lies that NASA tell you.
there's loads of them. You gotta look at some of that footage and think that's bonkers, though.
I'll be honest with you, I don't believe we've been to the moon.
No, definitely not. Stanley
Okay.
Kubrick. You're gonna you go into it. Don't be just.
Okay, so the very first thing I read, they say that they found, no, the very first, without even looking any further, they found 29% so far. That's the very first one that I've found.
Okay.
So 29%. It's extremely rare to find a complete skeleton of a dinosaur.
So what's the reason then? So what you're saying, there's no dinosaurs?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I don't know.
Okay, so they have.
I
So
think there's dinosaurs.
So apparently there's a very famous, I'd never heard of it, but there's a very famous T-Rex, a massive T-Rex that they found that they nicknamed Stan, and he is mostly complete. It just says mostly, and that is one of the very few nearly complete dinosaurs that they found. That was a T-Rex.
To be honest with you, of anything, it's very rare they find a body complete in it.
No.
You know what I mean? Especially something millions of years old.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
There you go. See, you've learned something.
yeah.
But you don't know time scales though as well. I saw something the other day. It's funny. They found a foot, and they say in a boot. They found this foot in a boot, right? And it's turned into rock, which takes, I don't know, thousands, probably millions of years to turn a fleshy foot and everything into rock.
Right,
And it's called the Limestone Cowboy. And it's all.
Is that real?
It's like, yeah, Oh, Google the limestone cowboy.
Okay, so before I move on to limestone cowboy, so scientists have revealed the world's first ever complete T-Rex skeleton.
And when was that?
Found after it fell to its death in a deadly duel with a triceratops. Each of the 67-million-year-old remains are among the best ever found and have only been seen by a select few people since they were discovered in 2006. The pair, nicknamed the dueling dinosaurs, are preserved together in what is thought to be a predator-prey encounter where both fought to the death, and that was found in Montana. So that is a complete T-Rex skeleton.
Okay, I'll say that was wrong, but
So what are we now? Limestone?
You
Limestone
can't get your information
cowboy?
from the Star.
It wasn't the Star. I think it was the Metro.
The Daily Mail.
Limestone cowboy.
Is he on there?
Let's have a look.
No.
No, sorry.
Must have been dreaming it then, but it was definitely. It was only the other day. I've never heard of it before, so I thought it was.
There is Limestone cowboy on here, but they're all different Facebook pages and films, and so no. What was it? A foot?
I thought
In a
inside a
boot.
boot. All calcified like it was turned to rock.
Oh,
Doesn't that
here we are.
happen
Yeah,
It's got to be a long time for
Yeah.
that happen.
But why would he have been had a bloody cowboy boot on if it takes?
Where's the cowboy boot?
That's why they called him the limestone cowboy. He got his foot.
Okay, so a human leg and foot bones found fossilised to solid stone inside a rubber-soled cowboy boot. The discovery was made in a dry creek bed near a West Texan town. How could this cowboy be thousands or even millions of years old inside a century-old boot? Another mystery created by an ancient earth and ancient fossil mythology.
Time travel.
Time
There
travel.
you go.
Time travel.
We've gone all around the houses and we're back on time travel.
How strange. There is said boot.
Yeah.
A rubber-soled boot.
So the boot's still the same, but the bones are.
Well, what they're saying
fossilised.
is the bones couldn't be fossilised within the time scale of that boot being made.
So that boot is like that. That's an actual.
That's a
photo
picture of
that.
it, yeah.
Well, obviously, then somebody just made a cast of the bone, haven't they?
Yeah, but they haven't pulled it out and plaster of Paris made in bloody my back garden, like.
That's just somebody's made that. That's just a fake.
Could be.
Very strange.
So, see, not everything I talk about is a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
But there's glyphs of humans riding dinosaurs. So,
Is there? Are the dinosaurs though?
yeah, they bloody them triceratops.
They were around when the woolly mammoth. They aren't dinosaurs, are they?
No, woolly mammoth is.
It's an early elephant.
Yeah, but they go back.
No, obviously they're thousands of years old, but there was humans around because they used to hunt them. So
We're back on the dinosaurs now.
no,
No,
not
woolly
dinosaurs.
mammoth.
sorry.
Woolly mammoth. Keep up.
Oh,
come on,
sorry,
keep up.
my
Come
pla- I
on,
was-
woolly
I was-
mammoth.
I was transfixed with the limestone cowboy, sorry.
No, but it's
Right,
interesting. All the stuff I find interesting.
So are we saying woolly mammoths didn't exist now? What are we
Yeah,
saying about
no.
woolly mammoths?
Woolly mammoths exist.
I don't know where we are. No, I don't know. I haven't got a clue what we're on about, to be honest with you.
Completely lost
This
it.
is where we go when we're going about
Yeah.
flat earth. See, just it's like a wormhole. And you just go down the other way. You
And
go.
do
Talking
they
about-
exist?
No,
Talking of woolly mammoths, that I listened to a show the other night on a guy on Joe Rogan, and he's up in Alaska. He's a gold miner or something like that, and he's actually got a plot of land, 5 acres, and it's called the Boneyard or something like that, and he's got the most woolly mammoth bones and other bones in this 5-acre site. They found more there than they've found anywhere else on the planet.
I'll ask you.
Yeah, they're still pulling him out now. But he was saying his daughter makes jewellery out of the tusks. But you think a woolly mammoth tusk would be a lot rarer than an elephant tusk. So why can they allow jewellery to be made out of a woolly mammoth tusk?
Because you aren't killing them,
I was going to say probably because they're already extinct,
hunted,
aren't they? So it's, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. So do we think that's a case of, because do elephants have what they call elephant graveyards, don't they, where they all kind of, it could be possibly something very similar to that, and that's why there's a lot of,
I think I saw a picture Sunday Sport of a mammoth on the moon.
Yeah, did you just get off that bus?
Yeah, I think you got off the bus.
On the moon.
Anyway, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I think that's it now. I think we should go home and have some tea and jammy donuts.
I'm going to go home and spin me globe.
Don't spin it too fast because you might fall off.
You might fall off it.
Yeah, but you got one. See, when you open it and all your drinks are inside, it's flat, isn't it?
Listen, mate, I've seen the model you made for your lad of all the planetary systems.
Yeah. No, I do. I love it all, but I don't know. And I'm not particularly religious. I do believe in a creator, but obviously we went to a flat Earth tour, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they were absolutely bonkers, mental, drinking their own wee and all sorts.
We don't need to offend anybody on the podcast, but it's a bit extreme. Some of the things they just came to me. This is just my personal view. They just seem like activists. To be honest,
they were a bit like that, weren't they?
Yeah. Which you get in any field.
Oh yeah.
That,
but
it's,
they were. But they were strong. They just believed what they believed, don't they?
Yeah. Strongly believed.
Then they're really passionate about it.
Yes.
But they are all born again Christians.
So don't they believe in dinosaurs?
No, I bet they wouldn't.
I can't answer for every one of them, but they are all born again Christians. They all believe in. Yes.
Yeah, and that's bonkers. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, after you've all insulted me, I think we should just leave it there. So if anybody else wants to insult me, the email is contact@ghostencounters.org. Just direct them at Nick. Nick's he.
No, Nick T.
No, but that's it. So if you got any opinions you want to send us them in. Any stories, send them in.
And I think we're hoping to bring you on soon on location.
Yeah.
Maybe. We've got somewhere.
That's if we don't fall off the edge first.
No. So if we don't fall off getting there. Yeah. Hopefully we can do a podcast and on location in a different place for you, and let's see if we get anything whilst recording. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we will.
Yeah, and we might have to go back to time travel at some point, because that only lasted about 5 minutes, didn't it?
yeah, definitely.
So, cool. That's it then. That's another one done. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.